here with them books. Woo! As promised, I promised you guys, and here I am. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for visiting me. Thank you for checking me out. If you're feeling me, I'm brand new to BookTube, YouTube. This is technically like my third time creating a YouTube, but it's alright. It's alright. Every time I decide that I want to do YouTube, it gets better and better and better. And guess what? I'm back and I'm here to stay. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know what you think. And let's go. Let's get right into it. So, last video, I talked about a book that I was currently reading, and the book was called Renee, All Hail the Queen. Here it is by Brandy Davis. That's it. Check it out. Check it out. It's a little battered, but it's okay. Very, very good book. I finally completed the story. It took me a very long time to complete this book. The story is about a girl. Her name is Renee. She's a kingpin. And Renee, she comes from a very, very dark past, which hence the cover. Look at that cover. Just look at that cover. I mean, look at it. You know, most urban novels got the typical girls, the pretty girls posing. Not this one. Look, she doesn't even have a face. Like this is and it now that I've read the story, it makes a lot of sense. Her family is mentally just messed up. Like everybody's tripping in this book. Everyone's going ape shit. Like everybody everybody want everybody dead. So back to what I was saying. Jordan is a kingpin. I'm sorry, Renee is a kingpin, but her alias, her street name is Jordan. So, you know, the streets know her as Jordan, but Jordan can't be Jordan because Jordan's battling too many demons mentally. Like she's locked up in her crib, like losing her mind, and everybody want revenge. Like everybody is out for her, everybody's out for blood, and everybody wants Renee dead. And so we're following this story. We meet her sister Paige is being introduced. Everybody just mentally twisted. The book is crazy, but it was really good. Definitely interested in reading a part two. So yes, this now it's an urban tale. So it did not have a lot of that, you know, that sex in it. It did not have a lot of it. It was in it, but it was very subtle. It was not as graphic and detailed as we know they can be. These novels can be, but they were definitely in. It was some in there. It was very mild, very subtle, but overall was a really, 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 really good story. So that's it. But now I want to move on to my TBR. I want to go move on to the books that I caught. So also in my last video, I talked about a poet. Her name was Rupi Kaur, and I read Milk and Honey, the book. I read it really fast. I read it like within an hour. And I was so like just mind blown by her style of writing, what she wrote and talked about, that I did research, and guess what? She came out with another one. It's 5 stars on Goodreads. I got it. I said I was gonna get it. The library called and said it was here, so I ran for my life to the library. And it's here. I got it. It's here. It's here. Here it is. I got it. I got Homebody. I am so excited. So excited. Like I wanna stop recording right now and read it. But I'm gonna take my time because Milk and Honey was so good. And now we have Homebody, and it's going down. It's lit over here. You hear me? It's going down. So we got it. It's here. It's here. It's here. And so that's part of my TBR. We're gonna get that done in an hour, okay? Also talked about in my last video, I said that I would do some urban literature. Of course, I will continue with urban because that is all I pretty much read is urban literature. And I said I would also do like new release. I said I was more interested in like 20, like brand new, like 2024 releases. And so I found something at the library. I found one. It was very interesting. The synopsis is what made me want to get it. So I got it. And here it is. I got this one. It's called Boys in the Club. Here it is. See the men. Here they go. Here it is. And so what made me get it is because of what it read. It said, "It is said that all work and no play makes life dull. Justin, Kevin, Marcus, and Evan love to do both. These young men are four hard-working professionals who also have an addiction to club life." So that right there was enough for me to get it. You know what I'm saying? Because once upon a time, listen, if I'm not going to go to the club no more, I'm going to bring the club to me. And here it is. So I'm curious to see what's going on. I hope it's a lot of this and a lot of that. I hope it's juicy, got a lot of nasty sex. But that's what's next. I'm going to be reading this as well. Now, this author, he's like, he is well known. Okay, you hear a lot of rappers and musicians reference this author in their music. I mean, from Jadakiss to Nori to Tupac to you hear guys reference this author, and guess what? He's an urban legend, and guess what? He's here. He is here. He is in the building. I have his books. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got the large ones. I got Dope Fiend, which is Dope Fiend is actually like the first one. I'm assuming this is his very first. I read it. This is his very first one. I don't know when Black Gangster came out, but I seen it had both, so I grabbed it. I grabbed it. I'm so excited. Even as I was checking this out, the librarian, she was like, "Oh my God, you found that in here?" She was like, "Back in the day, we could not keep his books on the shelves. People would come in and steal them. That's how good his books were." She's like, "Have you ever read any of his books before?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Are they like the Sugar Hill movies, like the coffee movie?" She's like, "I ain't gonna tell you," because I'm thinking like old school, older school. And she like, "Nope, I'm not gonna tell you, but you're in for quite a treat." So when I say, I think this might be my next one. I think in conjunction, once I finish Homebody, I think this is next. I don't know. When I say I'm so on it, I'm so excited. I think this is what I want to read next. I don't know because I have such a good selection right here. I don't know what's next. I don't have like a schedule. So I got them. Next, what else? Okay, so we're still in the urban literature. Now, again, this is all part of my TBR. So we're still in that category. We're still in urban. So I was, of course, going to the library, scamming the shelves, because that's where I get all of my books, the library. And I came across someone who's very popular in the urban literature. We all know her. We've all read her books. I mean, if you wasn't reading her books in high school, sneaking to read the little nasty parts, then you ain't really hip to the urban literature. Zane, yup, you knew it. You knew it. I got Zane, and I picked up Nervous. Now, I also have Addicted. Now, this book I shopped from my very own library. Sequel, but it's a follow up. You can read them as standalones, but Nervous is a follow up to Addicted. So I'm very interested. So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna read Nervous, I might as well read Addicted again. And I know it's gonna be a quick, fast read. And you know what? I haven't read this book since I was probably like in middle school, like straight up. I probably read this in middle school, high school, knowing I wasn't supposed to have a book. Like that's let me see. Let me see. Let's see if my dates are correct. If my dates are correct, let's see when this was printed. Uh oh. Uh-oh. You know what? It's actually it's so old. It's missing the print page, but it's okay. If I'm not mistaken, I know for a fact I read this when I was still in school. Okay, so we're gonna read both of these. These is both part of my TBR. And now, moving on. Um, let's see. Are we? Was that part of urban? Yes. So that was all of urban. So we got that. We got about five urban tales. We got homebody. And so moving on. Now in my last video, I talked about someone. I kind of talked about a little bit about who I am and what I like. And I kind of did confess that I still am a top model fan. I love modeling. I still watch Top Model. In fact, it's about to come on today about 3 o'clock on Pluto. Yes, in 2024, I still be watching the Top Model episodes that came on back 2008. I still am obsessed. I still dream walking that runway. I still dream. I still dream of walking that runway. I don't care. It's still a dream. I'm still waiting to get that call. Raven, you have booked the job. I am still waiting. But I talked about modeling, and guess who I found a book by? You would never have guessed that they wrote a story, and it's here. I got her. I got her book, baby. Here she is. Woo! Yes, ma'am. Listen, I called the library. I waited 3 weeks for this book. Like immediately after I recorded my last video, my mind started going. I'm like, okay, where do I want my channel to go? What do I want to read? What do I want to read? What do I want to read? I'm like, let me stick to a little bit about who I am. And I typed her in, and boom, look, woo, yes, she here. She in the palm of my hand. Now, first of all, the book is like 560 some pages. Like, Tyra, what are you talking about for 567 pages? Like, and it better be good, okay? So I'm excited. I don't know what genre this is. Is this young MA? Is this fantasy? Is this realistic fiction, nonfiction? Like, is this a memoir? We don't know. I didn't even read the synopsis. Well, I kind of did. I kind of did. I kind of read like the first page too. And this girl, she's sitting in her room and she's daydreaming about going to the mountains, and then the mountains is model land, or we know. So, and it's crazy, she really does have something called model land. I think because I'm not on social media, but back when I did, I knew that Tyra had like smiles, which was like the models with her eyes. And then she did have, and it was like an ice cream thing or something like that. And then she did Model Land. I believe it was supposed to be stationed in LA. It was like in Santa Monica, and literally would come and she would teach you how to pose. But I think now she kind of regenerated all of that, and I think now she kind of teaches classes like how to be like Instagram baddies, how to take photos online and little stuff like that. So yeah, yeah. So I got her. I got my boo, and I'm gonna do more research. Like some of our favorite models, like where are they? Like where's Carrie D? Like where's Mercedes? Like where's Jasleen? Where's Yaya? Like I watch Yaya. When I say I'm obsessed with Yaya and everything she do, she played on this series. It was called Our Kind of People. When I say I love that series, like oh my god, like obsessed. Like where's Eva? Like where are these girls? Are they modeling? Are they writing? What's another one? What's her name? I freaking loved her. I loved her so much. These girls, no, because I love them. Where are they? Are they writing books? Like I want to read their books. I want to read their memoirs. And you know what else I want to get? I want to get that book by Jane Manuel. Yep, you know the one I'm talking about. You be seeing it. It's called The Wig, The Bitch, and The Meltdown or something like that. Let me see. Where is this top model? What was her name? When I say she was my favorite, Mercedes was my girl. Tiana. Where is Tiana? Like, is she writing? Jasleen, Carrie D, Danny. That was my favorite girl, Danny. Joanna, remember Joanna? Oh my god. Naima, where are they? Like, I would love to read their books and their stories. So I'm going to be doing research to find these young ladies. Okay, and I'll be back. I'll let you know what I find. But in the meantime, we're going to be reading the Queen. And guess what? Oh yeah, top model. Speaking of top model, the Victoria's Secret fashion show, if I'm not mistaken, is airing October 15th. Yes, ma'am. And guess what? We ain't reading on that day. We gonna be in front of that TV because they kind of showed a snippet. They show Gigi kind of walking into this hotel, and then they got Tyra like she just walked, she walking. Gigi go to the counter. The attendee at the counter turns around, and it's Tyra. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I don't know if that was their way of saying Tyra's going to be on that runway this year. But when I say I'm all in, yes, ma'am. And then, first of all, they haven't had a Victoria's Secret fashion show in like 6 years. So, like that day, listen, I'm going to have my strawberries, my grapes, my cold water. It's on. It is on. And I'm going to be like, what? I got her bug. I got her bug. I got her. Hey, hey. So, speaking of celebrities, now this one, part of my TBR, this one is very interesting how I came across these books because this particular person, I kept having dreams about them. Why am I having. Now, when say you're like you may watch a movie about something or have a discussion about something, and you kind of find yourself maybe later on that night having a dream about it. Well, this time I didn't watch any of their movies. I didn't know they wrote any books. I didn't know. I wasn't thinking anything about them. But guess what? I had a dream about them 3 times, and I'm like, that final time I woke up, I said, that's it. Let me see what's going on. Like, why am I having dreams about this person? Like, nope. I want to see what's going on. Enough is enough. Why are you popping up in my dreams? What's going on? And show enough, like my grandma would say, show enough. They got a whole book series. I'm like, oh, I'm like, so, I'm like, are they trying to tell me? Yup. Mm. Sorry, I got a little lip gloss. There he is, Omar Epps. Yup, Nubia, The Awakening. Wow, that cover is fire. Look at that. He got a this one got like a he got his eyes covered. Ooh, look at that. Omar Epps, loving basketball. Omar Epps, into deep. Omar Epps. Yes, I got his book, and I ain't get just the first one. I got the second one. Ooh, The Reckoning. Look at that. So I did a little research. It's a young MA, so it's for like teenagers, which is fine. And it's fantasy. The genre is fantasy. And I kind of looked here. It looks like it's taking place. The setting is taking place in like 2096 in New York. So this is gonna be fun. The fact that it's a young MA, I'm like so excited for it. There he is on the back. Look, why you in my dreams, bruh? You want me to come to your book signings? You trying to link up? Why are you in my dreams? Just random. And then I saw that new movie with him in it called The Deliverance with Monique. Yeah, he in there, and I got his books. He is in my hands, and that's gonna be exciting. Speaking of fantasy, I got one more title in the fantasy genre. This one's been floating around BookTube, and I'm like, let me get it, let me get it, let me get it. It's been talked about how good it is, how good it is, and I've never read fantasy, so this is going to be my introduction into fantasy. And I got this book. It's called The Fifth Season by N.K. Yep, there she is. Let me show you her. Ooh, ooh, there she is. Wow, wow. Wow, there she is. So this book has been floating around. This is supposed to be part of a trilogy, a series called the Broken Earth. This is book one. And I'm actually really excited. I don't know anything about it. I did not read the synopsis, but I was in the library. It was on my list. I asked them if they had it. They said they did, so I brung it home. The end. And bam. So we got her final book. I got one more. Now, I always read these types of books I talked about in my last channel. My last episode. I talked about some of the books, this kind of genre, this genre. I don't really know how to label it. I don't like to say self help. I don't like to label it that. Maybe more the lines of self improvement genre. But I've read tons of these. If every time, whether I'm reading urban, I gotta have this type of book. Whether it be, say I'm reading urban, I gotta be reading a business book. If I'm reading or urban and I gotta be reading a finance book, or urban and a spiritual book, or urban and a success book. I always spirituality. So, and by the way, I still am reading The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne. I still am. That one I read by the chapter. So like each day I read by the chapter. So I haven't been reading it every day, but like when I get back to work, I like to read it at work because we have a lot of downtime at work. So like during my work day, I'll read a chapter and close it because I like to, when I read those types of spiritual books, I like to actually reflect. Like I will, like it's weird. Like say I'm reading, like for example, I'm reading Dr. Wayne, Power of Intention. I'll read it, and then like on my lunch break, I'll literally like walk around with the book just in my loft, and I'll literally just think about what he's teaching, what he's talking about. And I do that with all of the books. So I read a lot of these. I've read The Alchemist. I've read The 5 a.m. Club. I've read who else have I read? I've read books by Og Mandino. I've read Atomic Habits. Napoleon Hill, his books are difficult. Like that's not an easy book. I would not read Napoleon Hill unless you've already been like reading. Like unless you have to already be like, you know what I'm saying? Because the mind is a muscle. And so reading Napoleon Hill in years, you finally working out and you move to the 50 pounders. No, like start small. Like I've read the first book, I could honestly say the very, very first book that I read that got me into reading about like, you know, just that type of energy was the book called The Greatest Miracle. What was it? Let me see. Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino. And I got that from the library years ago. I never returned. I kept it because that was an amazing, and that was the book. That was the book that opened me up to that world. I've read The Art of War. Read tons. I can't think of them all, but I've read tons. And so back to what we're doing. I have a book by someone very, very popular, and it's in that category of all those different things I was just talking about. He's here too. I got him. Now this one I got for free. And that's what I love. We love free books. I go to the laundromat. They have free books. Snatch. Here he is. I got him. Looking good. Looking like he know what he talking about. Looking powerful. 50 cents. Curtis Jackson. Hustle harder. Hustle smarter. Now I don't know if this is a memoir. I'm assuming it's a little bit of both. It's probably a memoir mixed with him. I want him to teach us like you know, I want to learn. I'm in that phase now where learning is like I'm eager to learn any and everything I can get my hands on. Like I'm even reading books on business. Like I've picked up this book. I want to share it. Let me see if I got it. I want to share this book. I wasn't intending to, but I truly do. Look at this book. I read it. I read this twice. This is just to give you an idea of where my mind is, where I'm going, the types of books I like. I'm not gonna add it to my TBR because I read it twice, but look, start it up. The complete teen business guide, turning your passions into pay. This is for teenagers. This is for 10 teenagers. When I say this book was so insightful, these are the types of, and guess what? This is by an African American woman. And I didn't know that until after. I was like, man, after I read the book, I was like, man, this is amazing. And guess what? Find out, black woman. I did research on her. An idea of the things that I'm into, what I like, what I'm about, where I'm going, what I want to do, what I'm interested in. Yes. So that's it. That's it for now. That's it for now. That is all part of my TBR. Now, I'm not going to be unrealistic this time and say I'm going to have all these books read by next month, because the reality is that's not going to happen. But I'm going on 30 minutes. I want to wrap this video up. I will say I would give myself to the end of December, like December, January 2025, January 2025. I'll probably at least have a dent put into this TBR. But I'll definitely be touching back, talking to you guys well before then. You'll see me soon. You'll see this pretty face soon. You'll see me soon. You'll catch up. I'll catch you guys up where I'm at, how far I got into the TBR, what new books I got. I'm even going to try to experiment going out and shopping for the books. Like, I'm going to try that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, from my phone, trying to record, I'm going to try to get snippets, and then create another video. Like I said, this is all a learning experience. The editing of videos, creating the videos, the lighting of the videos. Like, this all take a lot of time. Like, shout out to the YouTubers. Like, shout out, because this is not an easy task. Like, anybody could just get a phone and record. And I've seen some really, really simple videos, and I've seen some well put together, well thoughtful videos. So shout out to the people who really, really do this full time, because it takes a lot out of you. Like, I got like 5 lights right now, and I'm burning up. And I still feel like the lighting isn't that well. Like, I have so many lights right now, and I still feel like I need to work on my angles and lighting. But I'm here to stay, because like I said, this is my 3rd channel. I'm here to stay. You're gonna see my face. We're gonna improve. Every video gonna get better. Alright, so that's it. Bye.